We're at the tail end of day 14, about to head into day 15. Things have gone totally pear-shaped. Sakura's gone completely evil. We had a fucking fight between Rin and Sakura. Things are not going well. Let's just say that. Sakura's completely gone off the deep end, and now we really fucking need to stop her. Let's see where this leads. Starting with 14. Day 14, finale. Looks like Shirou is going to discover just how far Sakura has fallen and given in to her dark side. It's obvious something's going on in the yard. A damp magical energy that makes me want to vomit is swirling so much I can almost touch it. I'd feel the abnormality even if I weren't a Magus. That bad? I was prepared for it, but I get dizzy the instant I see it. Tosca is covered by a shadow like coal tar. Ilya is standing at the side of the yard, and Black Saber is standing in front of her. And in the middle of the yard is Sakura, pointing her hand at Tosca. Naturally, we'll just run in, yell out. Minimal observations. Sounds about like Shirou. Okay. I jump into the yard. I have to help them both, or Tosca is in the most danger. I have to help them both, but Tosca is in the most danger right now. Alright. Covered in coal tar, Tosca looks pale, and it looks like her life's in danger. Thankfully, it also seems like Sakura is not being quick about killing her, so you might have a chance still. If she had just shot her with a blast of the instant death magic the minute she got captured by the coal tar-like substance, I think she'd just be a goner. Thankfully, in addition to becoming evil, it seems Sakura has adopted some of the more common tropes associated with supervillains, including maniacal laughter, ranting while you have the hero hostage, you know, all that good stuff. All that good stuff. There's no reply. Come on, pull yourself together, Tosca. How are you gonna pull that off of her, Shirou? I tear away the mud that's covering her. Isn't that stuff like made of pure curses? That seems like a terrible idea to even come in contact with. But Shirou's doing Shirou, ignoring the fact that there's someone who clearly put him in that place, ignoring the fact that there is a fucking servant, Saber, standing there threateningly, is just like paying attention to Tosca, and nobody's doing anything. Shirou's in his own little world right now. The mud is gelatinous, but it's just like rubber. I can't grab it, and even if I pull it off her body, it just bounces back onto her. I can't get the mud off no matter what. I panic and frantically try to free her. Like, bro, like, you need to stop with the tunnel vision. You know, I feel like a strong criticism of you here, if you were working literally anywhere, would be you don't have sight of the bigger picture. You're just tunneled on Tosca. There. Oh, it seems my Kohai is misbehaving. What should I do with a misbehaving Kohai, BB? Or perhaps, do you not want me to answer that? Sakura speaks in a cold voice I've never heard from her. Sakura, my rage turns to ice. Sakura's neck. Something that looks like a tattoo is consuming her. It doesn't look like it, but it's a command spell. A mysterious command spell is crawling over Sakura's body.
兄さんがどうなったのか見てきたのに、私を叱らないんだもの。
それはいい。シンジのことは今は話さなくていい。さくらが落ち着いてからちゃんと話を聞く。
E0. She's turning into Kama. E0. You gonna roll for her? You gonna roll for Kama this year? She's coming out shortly. Kama's got some weird ascensions though. If it's Kohai misbehaving, it's not a Kohai. BB, I got some bad news for you. You've misbehaved quite a bit. So are you relinquishing your title? You've done quite a deed that was cruel. At the very least, could be described as misbehavior, if not outright cruel or evil. At least Sakura can claim like mental instability, but you got a ways to go before you think misbehaving makes you not a Kohai and claiming to be one. Of course. Here come the excuses, everyone. BB's gonna give us some great excuse why she's not misbehaving. How all this casual murder, the guerrilla war she formatted, all that's not her fault and not misbehaving. That's perfectly reasonable. Oh, we don't have to talk about Shinji. It's not too important. That's right. I have to talk with Sakura right now. Zoken said a lot of crazy things, but they're all lies. Sakura is still Sakura. She's talking to me like always, and...
いいえ、私はそんな話はしたくないし、先輩とも話したくない。喋るのは私だけでいいんです。先輩も姉さんも兄さんも町の人たちも、もう私に口を出すことなんてできないんだから。
But someone out of town can, because you said no one in town, be it Senpai, Nesan, or Nissan. Dark Sakura is closest to Kama. You're absolutely right. Yeah, Phoebe just caught herself in her own, hoisted by her own petard. She fucking revealed that she's not in fact a Kohai and is just claiming she's revoked her own license to that title. Feel bad. A chill runs down my back. This isn't just a chill. It's an intensely cold thorn, as if a knife were slashed from my brain down to my waist.
それより先輩、なんで姉さんをかばうんですか?
My vision whites out for a second. Am I protecting Nix? A shadow is standing behind Sakura. The chill runs throughout my body, paralyzing me with fear. That's Sakura. Even when I heard that the shadow is Sakura, I could bear it. But now that I've seen it, I know the truth. My left arm melted when it merely touched it. The thing that went around town killing people like a machine is Sakura. My throat goes dry. My eyeballs convulse. My vision wavers as if space itself is twisted. I honestly don't know about you guys. I like their use of metaphor, but sometimes I wonder if people actually act like that when they're confronted with something surprising. Like he's on the verge of passing out from shock. Like the dry throat, maybe. Eyeballs convulsing? I don't think I've ever had that happen to me. I've definitely never had my vision like waver at surprising news, especially news you already knew. Depends on how well they did in drama class. Yes, I guess some people actually do react that way, but I haven't experienced that myself yet. Every cell in me screams a warning, trying to defrost my frozen body. But it doesn't melt. Sakura's presence isn't human, but something different. It's not her vast magical energy that got to me. There's only one reason why my body's frozen. Sakura is being hostile towards me. The true reason to feel fear. Not at the power, but the fact that Sakura is actually hostile.
そういつもそうでした。私を守ってくれるって言ったのに、先輩は私だけを見てくれなかった。でもいいんです。そういう人だから私先輩が欲しかった。
My vision distorts. The words from the Sakura I don't know cause my mind to break apart. It tells me it's not her. She's not Sakura. Something I shouldn't think about fills my brain.
先輩、私といると苦しいでしょ。先輩にとって私がどれだけ重荷なのかよくわかっています。だから私先輩の前から消えないといけなかった。
Yet here you stand. The shadow dances around. The ground is like a stage for a shadow pitcher.
できないんです。私にとって嬉しいことは先輩だけだから。
So is now where she announces something like "Stay here with me forever"?
それに先輩だって私からは離れられない。先輩はこれ以上
I tried to guess the line.
だから
There we go! There we
して
go!
あげます。
It feels so good to guess that
ずっと
right.
そばにいてくれるし、何より
Feels so good to get these lines right. And you know I haven't watched this several times because A, the scene isn't asking for the scene skip option. And B, it was a long ass drive to the theater to see Heaven's Feel Part 3. I definitely didn't see that thing several times. It was like a frickin' day trip to make it there. Alright. So, Sakura. The classic "Be with me forever after I kill you" line.
先輩は
Descending into full super villainous territory. Full villainous territory. No more suffering. Yeah, you can't suffer when you're dead. Although, if you eat my soul and torture it, maybe that's not quite true. After all, Shirou never said suffering ends when you die. He just says people die when they are killed. Or people should, at least, die when they're killed. Yeah, that's a more accurate version of the line, right? The shadow stretches. That's a little more context. It surges forth like a wave, trying to swallow me along with Tosuko. I react by instinct, pushing Tosuko away. The black tide sweeps over me. I don't even think about avoiding it myself. I was frightened. I thought Sakura wasn't Sakura for an instant. That knowledge wouldn't let me move my body. I know this. This is the darkness I was showered with before. I'll go insane. I couldn't even bear it for a second back then. My mind will disappear before my body if it falls directly on me. My body shrivels. My warmth fades away. It's more painful and frightening than I thought, so my body struggles to break free. But I can't jump. First of all, there's no ground to kick off of. I realize I'm back in the yard. My vision is filled with purple hair.
ライター、あなた
So what is this story with Shirou about how does he have his powers and a master? This is the third route of Stay Night. He doesn't have any. He doesn't have any useful magical abilities. He does, however, have at this state. He has archers. He has Archer's arm, but if he uses it, it will kill him. So he basically like literally got his arm blown off by when he was fighting the Shadow. And Archer cut his arm off and gave it to him because Archer was also dying anyway. From unrelated, well, from related but not the same kind of injury. So this Shirou does not have any crazy powers, although he can do some basic projection. Archer is a badass. Yeah, cut his own arm off. Yep. Not quite. Like, as I said, he's not demi-servant. He could theoretically access them. But it's been stated multiple times, if he uses them, it will literally kill him. As it's not simply, he has the powers. They literally surgically attached Archer's arm to his, which is made of pure magic. And it's like 1 billion times more magic than he can hold. Like, he has these bandages on. Actually, hold up. Since this is actually, well, if I can, if I can move this image slightly to the right. No, he doesn't want to move. It's locked in place. I'm lazy. All right. Yeah, Archer and Shirou are the same person anyway. But yeah, he's got these red bandages on his arm. And literally just like lifting the edge of the bandage causes him immense pain. Yeah, he just got an adult form of his arm back. So he can't really do anything here. The best he can realistically do in this fight is talk angrily and do his usual reinforcement magic. So he just got saved by Ryder.
これはあなたの命令です。さくら。何があっても、エミヤシロウを守れと。
We got our asses saved by Ryder. It's Ryder that saved me from the Black Wave. I don't know if you've read the other routes or which routes you've seen, but in this one, Ryder isn't dead. We're currently missing basically every other servant, though. Ryder saved us from the Black Wave. Awesome.
その体で立ち上がれば、意識が途絶えます。
You've not seen a single route? Well, welcome to the middle of the story in the third route that requires you to have read the first. I can't even stand up. I'm on my knees and just breathing is enough to render me unconscious.
さあ、私に逆らうのね、ライダー。
Yes, yes it is. It's possible to meet the heroic spirit version of yourself. There is a couple minor issues with that in that if you interact with them, you become more like them, physically. And you sometimes, like, your memories sometimes bleed over. Yeah, and in Babylonia, King Gilgamesh literally summoned himself. It's clearly not a problem. It's like, straight in Babylonia, he's like, yeah, I'll just summon myself for 5 minutes so that I can win the fight and then claim victory. It's like, oh, guess who killed it? I did. In this case, though, we didn't necessarily know that. Well, in Stay Night, we didn't know that because this is the first story set in the Fate universe. So we didn't know that you could actually interact with yourself and what the consequences were, or who it was, since Archer is typically known as Nameless or just Emiya. Grand Order is actually like the first game where he's introduced as Emiya and not as Nameless or Mysterious Archer. No? Well,
なら、あなたも取り込みます。予定外のものを取ったから、これ以上サーバントはいらないのだけど。
I don't need any more servants since I've absorbed something that wasn't in the plan. Ah, rip, rip.
特別にセーバーと同じにしてあげる。
The shadow stands up. Maybe she's serious because Ryder is opposing her. The shadow coming from Sakura covers the whole yard. The whole place is dyed black. Ryder doesn't show signs of running away, but stares at the creeping shadow like a criminal awaiting execution.
そこまでよ。余計なことはしない方がいいわ、さくら。
Why does you mean Gilgamesh says he's a copycat? Gilgamesh says he's a copycat, yeah, because of his noble phantasm and his magic. Emiya can't make anything. All he can do is replicate things he's seen before. His magic is literally just to store things he's seen before in his mindscape and pull them out as copies. So Gilgamesh doesn't like him because Gilgamesh is obsessed with originals and rare things. So someone whose whole shtick is copying the original probably, rubs him the wrong way.
あなた、これ以上取り込むと戻れなくなるから。
Ilia.
Thank goodness Ilya's here to save our asses. The shadow stops its advance.
それはどういう意味ですか？
Yep.
ヒリアスフィール。
Yeah. Gilgamesh likes expensive and rare shit. His catalyst in Zero, and this isn't a spoiler because it was like 5 minutes into the anime, and isn't hugely important because you already know he's there. Is like the skin of the first snake that shed its skin. I think it's like something ultra rare, one of a kind. And yeah, Gil has everything. Well, the servant version of Gilgamesh has an original of everything in existence, basically. And Shirou can copy things, so he's literally just yeah. And Emiya can copy things, so he's just a copycat. Because he just uses Gil's weapon. He just steals Gil's weapons, makes copies, and uses them.
言葉通りの意味よ。
Well, let's steal pirates, right? He's
白を
making a
殺し
copy.
ても
But
リンを再起不能にしても今のさくらには意味がないってこと。
you know how that
時間
goes.
の無駄だし、八つ当たりはそのあたりにしておいたら。
What's Ilya up to? Yeah, it is a pretty good ability. That's why Archer's really strong. When he isn't jobbing. He jobs a lot. Although it may not be entirely his fault since he can't actually make everything he can. Everything he's seen, he can't actually make. Or he can't actually make use of, like, replicate it because they cost shit tons of mana. Gil has everything except a few divine constructs. Yeah, Gil's missing a few things. He doesn't actually have Excalibur. And a couple other things. Has to be like very specific. No, he does have Herc's NP. He does have 9 lives. Gilgamesh has 9 lives. He actually pulls out 9 lives in he pulls out 9 lives in a Prismalia season 3. Actually, he pulls out the original 9 lives, which is the bow Heracles used to shoot down the Symphalian birds, and not the sword, as the sword is just a regular ass sword. In fact, I don't think it actually has a name. Hold up. We have that listed here, right? Unidentified. It's literally just a sword of rock. Yeah. It's not actually a named weapon. We don't have that sword listed here. We should have a bunch of other weapons. Dainsleif, Vajra, Herpe, Durandal. Oh yeah, half of these swords are identified when Gilgamesh attacks you, by the way. There's Graham, there's Durandal, there's Herpe, and there's Vajra. He has he does have Caliburn. Yeah, he has a copy of Caliburn. I think those are the only weapons from Gilgamesh we see. Dainsleif. This is obviously Kochiro's. That's the only list. Those are the only weapons we're actually listed as knowing Gilgamesh has. But yeah, he is pretty impressive. He's fun. Ilya walks over to Sakura. He also has non-weapons. He just doesn't use them very often. He pulls them out in some of the side or less serious stories, but he can actually pull out all the utility bullshit too. It's not just swords. Not just swords, axes, and that nonsense. As we get reminded in Prisma Ilya and in the sequel to this Hollow Eater, actually, he can pull out a lot of nonsense if he wants to. In Zero, he pulls out a flying boat that he can move with his mind, and dogfights a fighter jet for fun. That's why he's a 5-star. He gets like 5. I swear, he gets like 3 write-ups a year. The closest to not being limited as a limited servant you can possibly get in Grand Order.
なら早く済ませましょう。おとなしく一緒に行ってあげるから、ハンナの放っておきなさい。正気ですか？私が欲しいのはあなたの心臓だけ。私と来るということは、殺されても構わないということです。そんなの分かってるわ。けど、どっちにしたって殺されるんだし、抵抗しても無駄でしょ。とりあえず、今はさくらが一番強いんだし。
She's the strongest for now. Ilya talks without emotion. It pisses me off. In my condition, I can't figure out what Ilya is trying to say.
自ら生贄になるというの、イリアスフィール。ええ、それが私の役割だもの。けど、清掃はここにはないの。さくらが後継者として門を開きたいなら、私の城まで取りに行かないと。
He has the corpse of Enkidu in the form of Clayster. He does. He does also have that to make chains. Very good against divine people. Not very good against anything else. And I don't think we get to see that in this route, which is, yeah, I'm not gonna look. We don't get to see that in this route, I don't think. We might have it in status if it's listed under NP. Oh, we actually don't even get Gilgamesh listed here. RIP. Gilgamesh isn't even listed in this route. Imagine getting killed so fast you don't even imagine dying so fast you don't even get named. He literally shows up in 2 scenes in this route. He shows up in 2 scenes. No, he shows up in like 3 or 4 scenes. He actually shows up in 3 or 4 scenes. But he only really has a presence in like 1 of them. The rest of them he's basically side character material.
なら、シロを殺す必要はないじゃない。誰も殺したくないから受け入れたのに、今はもうみんなを殺したくて仕方がないなんて矛盾してるわよ、さくら。
How kind of you to point out contradictions. Thank you for insisting on consistency, Ilya. Truly, we need an Ilya route because it would be the most consistent. Also, yes, it is kind of blurry here. That's not like a bug or anything. It is super blurry. There we go. Nice and crisp again. The shadow retreats. Not only the shadow in the yard, but the mud on Tosuga fades away as though it never existed.
いいでしょう。
Might be the mud influencing his vision.
どんな思惑かは知らないけど、あなたの口車に乗ってあげます。
Smooth talking works even when the opponent's aware of it. Awesome. Her long hair flutters. Sakura turns her defenseless back to us and leaves, as if she lost interest in us. Ilya Rootwen. Unfortunately, never. Maybe if they do a remake, but I feel it's more likely that if they do a remake, they just cut content instead of adding new routes. I feel like I've gotten a little bit jaded from recent remakes. Recent remakes, like the Warcraft 3 remake, really make you question whether or not it's worth remastering or remaking things. Like, man, that was quite the dumpster fire. Like, a lot of recent remakes have been really bad. We've had a couple good ones. And I actually own a couple decent remakes. Like, the Homeworlds remake was pretty good. It was definitely playable. It played on modern machines. It looked better than the original. That was a good start. This game, we'll see about wanting a remake. I guess we'll first have to see if the Fate Extra remake is any good. Tsukihime remake and Fate Extra. We'll find out with those if it's worth investing in Fate remakes. I really hope they don't screw up Tsukihime. I would be very disappointed. Like, if that doesn't come out on PC, I'm contemplating buying whatever console it comes out for. So I'd be really pissed if it's crap. Alright. Sakura's leaving. I screamed for her to stop. It seems more like you wheezed for her to stop, or with a faint voice. Maybe because your throat was dry. I've done that before. Going back. Imagine them going back to the 5 Tsukihime fans in the world again. Hey, but at least there's 5, and we know there's at least 5 of them. Which means they got 5 guaranteed sales. Good enough for a remake. I'm sorry, never show yourself again. This is my house. You're in my place. I could understand going somewhere else, but Sakura, you're not all that sane, I don't think. Sakura leaves. Just figured that out now. I mean, it did say she went insane like 2 scenes ago. Not in this part. It did say she straight up went insane. I can't follow after her or even call out. Alright. Rest well. I hope you're feeling better soon, BB.
後の始末は私の役目だもん。さくらは私が連れて行くから、シロはもう休んでいいよ。
I can't save Ilya either.
じゃあね。
She's just gone.
今まで楽しかったよ、お兄ちゃん。
And there goes Ilya. Rest in peace, Ilya. I hear a sad farewell. Goodbye, Oni-chan. Everything melts away with that. My body stops trembling against the shadow. My guilt over thinking that Sakura was someone else disappears. I'm pissed. I was trembling miserably, unable to even take Sakura's hand. Not only that, I made Ilya, the one who called me Oni-chan, make a face like that. You've well and truly failed, Shirou. Bested not only by your enemies, but by your allies as well now. I run. My whole body feels like lead and my brain churns with cold nausea, but I follow after them.
追うな。それ以上進めば殺す。
A black servant blocks my way. She points her sword at me, overwhelming us without saying a word.
どいてくれ、セイバー。あのまま二人を行かせるわけにはいかない。
それはこちらのセリフだ。このままあなたに追わせることはできない。それに、仮に私が退いたところで、今のあなたに何ができる？これは最後の忠告だ。どのような形であろうと、さくらは聖杯を手に入れる。それだけがさくらを解放する手段だ。その結果が彼女の死であったとしても、それで麻藤さくらは救われる。
Only the
さくら
Grail
を
can
助け
bring
たいのなら手
redemption.
を引け。
Save your life.
だが、それでも追ってくるというのなら、その時こそ。
Black Saber disappears. Sakura and Ilya are gone. They vanish as if they faded into the shadow. The spirit that kept me going until now dissipates. My body drops to the ground like a puppet with its strings cut. I can't stay conscious. As my vision fades, the image of Sakura drowning in the shadow sticks in my mind, as if to impeach me. Well, today clearly didn't go well for Shirou. And happy Valentine's Day, everyone in Fate Stay Night. I'm sure you're not feeling all that romantic, but it is February 14th. Maybe Sakura will come by and give you a present? I think that's what you do in Japan. It's reversed, right? Chocolate from women today are on Valentine's Day. I think you're supposed to get chocolate from women. Girls apparently give guys chocolate, then white date guys give not the same chocolate, but a gift of equal value back, right? Approximately equal value. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It would have been nice to actually receive something on Valentine's Day. A little bit jealous of Japanese Valentine's Day. Plus, it's also really clear because the girl's giving you chocolate, and then you don't give something to random girls. You give something to specific ones. They literally hold it to White Day and they give back. That's weird. That's weird, but I'm okay with that. Holding chocolate for a month is kind of silly, but I can see doing that. If that was something you did, yeah, as a joke. Yeah, I was pretty sure it was a gift because I recall listening to a Japanese person complain about shopping for White Day being difficult because you have to guess how much. You have to guess how much the chocolate they bought you is worth if you don't know what it is off the top of your head. What'd she lose? Time. You've lost lots of time. And Shirou's lost Sakura. So let's make this final decision. The outcome of the battle is decided already? Or more accurately, it was decided a long time ago. This end had been determined ever since you lost Saber.
ただシロ、あれの相手をするということは、最も困難な道を行くということ。それを今から胸に刻んでおいてください。
That was said by the girl who fought with you as your sword until the very end. The night you parted with her, you promised to keep fighting by yourself, stop the shadow, and end the war. There was hell. There has to be a meaning to why you survived that hell. There has to be a meaning to why you must keep living. It's not that you miraculously survived while everyone else died. It's merely that one person was saved by the sacrifice of everyone else. Ending's a bad ending. You hated that. To break through reality, all you could do is become a superhero that can save anyone. I don't know what those tears were. He destroyed the Holy Grail, denied his battle because it was wrong, and frantically searched for any survivors. No matter what his intentions were, his tears saved you, and you were able to start walking on a new path with him. But you were left alone on the path. The man who led the way died, leaving the dream to you. Emiya Kiritsugu swallowed the sins for which he couldn't atone and left this world. He couldn't save anyone, but he wanted you to be able to save someone.
お前が今までの自分を否定するのなら、そのツケは必ずお前自身を裁くだろう。
I know. I know what it means, and I have to atone for it using all my life. I killed the me that I believed in for 10 years. The me that was killed will feed on me. And this is the embodiment of that crime. A saint's shield is useless. Archer's arm will eat away at me, forcing me to atone for my sins. It will bring an end far worse than death. And cut it off? That's right. It's only one arm. Now that you survived, you won't die even if you cut it off. So why? Why not just cut off your arm?
全部を選ぶことはできない。助けられるのは一人だけなんだって。
It's almost like I can still hear her. Poor Ilya. Taken by Sakura in the shadow. A girl that longed for her father, but lived seeking revenge. She almost cried, but smiled and swallowed her words so that we could live together. Saying, we can't do such a thing. We can't live long together. So,
それじゃあね。楽しかったよ、お兄ちゃん。
this is the final decision. Well, that's an easy decision, right? We have an easy decision. We can save Sakura and bring back Ilya, or we can just concede defeat. Well, I've saved, and the reason I saved is because as clear as this choice is, which, you know, I'm paranoid about not actually saving, as clear as this choice is, we clearly lost. We should give in to despair. Give in to despair and end the run, or we can keep progressing. Let's see what happens when we just say fuck it, it's over. This is clearly the most obvious route you've ever seen to a dead end, right? I lose the will and desire to get back up. I close my eyes as if falling asleep. Do we straight up just die here? There's nothing ahead of me. My Holy Grail war ends here, or rather, it never really began. Seriously? We just give it? We just die! Why would you ever pick, oh, it's all over now? Who would pick that decision? Seriously, like, this isn't the first this is... The choice with removing the command seal was an obvious end. Yeah, but... You could, if you were going in completely blind, you might wonder if it's like, I don't think it's likely, but you could theoretically wonder if what would happen if you made that decision, and if you'd get like some weird alternative route. This one, it's just like we've come so far, and you just want to give up and die. Why? All right, let's see if there's any funny advice.
Oh no!
And Taiga and Ilya aren't too happy with us. I love these endings, by the way. These are the best part of the game.
迅速に選択肢に戻ってやり直すべし。お姉ちゃん、シロをそんな軟弱者に育てた覚えはないわよ。
そうだそうだ。さっさと私を助けに来い。
そういうこと。本編もいよいよ終盤。この先にはまさにノンストップの展開が待ってるわ。残るタイガー道場もあと4つ。
4 more. We can find 4 more ways to die in this game.
ここまで来た
You know what that means?
一度も死なずにエンディングまで突っ走っちゃいなさい
その通りっす師匠。ちょっと寂しいけどこの先はそれぐらいの男気がないとやっていけないっす。
I feel a little bit lonely because we're stuck in the Tiger Dojo, but you won't make it ahead unless you're determined.
よく言った弟子1号それでは諸君健闘を祈る
They phrase it like it's a bad thing, but the reality is, I want to hit all the bad endings because some of them are really funny. And the game actually has like several main trunks with very short branches, so usually you don't actually have to restart. You usually don't have to go that far to get back to the success path, right? I know like some games and some choose your own adventure novels have some really long side paths you can take that just lead to death every way, but this game is pretty short, pretty low on those. There's only a couple ways to get yourself killed. Tiger JoJo's, yeah, they're always good. Some of them are insanely good. That one was like, it's okay. I prefer the ones where they make a lot of meta commentary on the game and more Taiga Ilya. Always a good thing. Right. Besides, how much Taiga do we actually get to see in this game?
当たり前だ
Not that much. Not that much past the midpoint, I feel.
勝敗が消したがどうしたそんなんで後に引けるか
いい気合いだ。その様子では入院の必要はないな。
Too true. Too true. We don't get enough.
なんで
Not enough Taiga. We see her more in Grand Order. We only see Taiga for like 5 minutes in Grand Order too. We see her in a couple events. And we see her in Babylonia and that's it. She doesn't show up in the main story very often. It would have been nice to get Taiga instead of Nazar though. That would have been hilarious. Can you imagine Taiga in literally any Lost Belt? Yep, she shows up in Quetz's NP. That's like one of the best NP lines, and it's not even by the person whose noble phantasm it is. It's great.
それは私のセリフだ。リンとお前、二人して玄関に捨てられていてな。
Yeah, announcer Quetz is fantastic. Rin and me were abandoned by the door? Looks like Ryder delivered us to the
捨て子
church.
にしては可愛げがないので見捨てたかったが、揃いも揃って衰弱しきっていた。放っておけば死体が2つ並ぶことになる。教会としては体裁が悪いのでな。
Classic
仕方なく治療してやったのだ。
Classic Kirei. Yeah, I could have left you, but there would have been 2 corpses in front of his church. The best thing is, if you know nothing about Kotomine, you might think he's actually serious about, like, you might think he's joking about there being 2 dead bodies. He would legitimately leave you to die if he thought it was funnier. He's like, oh, it'd be amusing to watch them bleed out and die. He would just let that happen. I figure out the situation I'm in. This is the chapel. Yes, it is. There's nothing wrong with my body. The energy that was swallowed by Sakura's shadow has recovered. I guess that's what happened if you pick We Lost. You just give up and die. In front of, lying on one of these pews, I assume. I lost consciousness back in the yard. It must be the same for Tosca. Ryder probably carried us here. Yeah, she has no means of healing wounded people. Kotomine was probably the only one she knew that could heal us. How long has it been? The time is...
深夜の3時過ぎだ。ここに運ばれてから12時間ほど眠っていたことになる。
Ah, we just lost a casual 12 hours.
12時間って丸々半日じゃないか
Well, we're a little bit behind Sakura. Just a little bit. I get up from the chair I was lying on. I can't lie around like this.
遠坂は俺と一緒に倒れてたんだろうあいつは
Has she woken up before us?
リンは遠坂の家で休ませている。お前は体力だけだったが、あれは魔力を根こそぎ奪われていたからな。通常持ち直すには7日はかかるが、遠坂の父はあれによく馴染む。
Okay, Rin's at her house.
順当に行けば、明日の昼には意識を取り戻すだろう。
Oh, that's not good. We need to make a weapon to defeat Zoken and the Black Shadow today.
そうか。命に別状はないんだな。
ない。あの土地の土は特別だ。何しろ吸血種が寝床にしていたいわくつきの霊脈だ。遠坂の後継者である凛なら一晩埋めておけば得らず口を取り戻すだろう。
I think I heard something I'm not used to hearing, but I decide not to ask about it. I like how Shiro's just like, did that man just say vampires? No. We don't have time for that now. More important things going on. Let's hope he doesn't literally mean Barry. Oh, that. Wait, you missed the vampire part? Shit, whatever.
世話になった。
Whatever, Shiro. I leave the church. I know what I have to do. Follow Sakura. Bring back Ilya. Bring back Sakura. Protect the one I love. Easy, simple goals. 4 of them. What if the fight's outcome is already determined? I still have the power to fight. Though this is no time to be hesitating. I guess I should have started with like a, so what if it's determined, rather than so what if it's determined? Rather than being a question that was more of a rhetorical one. There's no time. I can't waste going back home to find a weapon. No. These people can't be fought with weapons from my house. Sakura and Saber. Zoken and Assassin. If Zoken is after Ilya, I have to assume all my enemies are at my destination.
それでどこに向かうつもりだ、エミヤシロ。私には事情がつかめないのだが。
どこに向かうもない。イリアは俺たちをかばって自分から桜に同行したんだ。清掃が欲しかったら城に来いって言っていた。清掃とやらが何かは知らないが、行き先はあの城だろう。
We're going to Ilya's castle, which is like half a day's walk, which is like an hour's drive and half a day's walk through a forest. That's a bit of a trip.
清掃だと。いや、それ以前に麻藤さくらは敵に回ったのか。では、こたびの聖杯戦争、すでに勝敗は決したということか。
What do you mean by that? It's irritating, but Kotomine is right. Zoken and Sakura. Sakura is obviously the superior master, but she can't disobey Zoken. I don't know what she's trying to do with Ilya, but it'll end once she meets Zoken. No matter how much Sakura refuses him, the crestworm in her body will control her.
そんなことより、なんでついてくるんだよ、お前。
お前一人では荷が重かろう。イリアスフィールをさらわれたというのなら、私も静観はしておられる。
This guy. I stop at the unexpected reply. What did he just say?
一人じゃ荷が重いって、俺に手を貸すっていうのか、お前が。
不服か。相手は最大勢力だ。凛の助力がない今、私程度でもありがたいはずなのだが。
We're gonna see Kirei get in a fight, guys. Kirei is offering his assistance in a fight against servants. There's no way I'm discontented. I'm happy for any help,
なん
but
でだよ。あんたが俺に手を貸す理由はないはずだ。
もちろん、これは今回限りのことだ。イリアスフィールを救い出した後も、協力者などと思われては困る。
なら。
なに、単純な利害の一致だよ。加えて私のサーバントは全て奴に敗れた。理由としてはそれで十分ではないか。
this guy, he's always lying. He's like, oh, I had a servant. And then now he's like, all my servants. This guy. Like, it's like lie after a lie as he slowly reveals slightly more of the truth. There's no lie in his words. That's correct. A lot has happened between us, but he's never lied to me. He lied the first time he met you. He said he was just the overseer, and then it turns out he's participating in the Grail War. And he's like helping because his servant got killed, which he lied about as well. Oh my god. How do you even think this, Shirou? I don't understand. Hi. Well, you know what they say. Try to find ways to get yourself killed, find the Tiger Dojos. That's the name of the game. Fuck off, go to me.
あんたはさくらの敵だ。背中を預けることはできない。
How's this go?
そうか。力になれるかと思ったが、残念だ。
How do we get killed from here? Do we actually make it to the castle? The priest stops. I have no time to waste. I have to follow after Sakura as quickly as possible. So how far do we get? It's daybreak when my taxi arrives at the forest. A student taking a taxi at 3 in the morning is suspicious enough, so wanting to be dropped off in the outskirts must have been too much. After 12 tries, I finally found a taxi that had dropped me off at the forest, and it's already morning by the time I get there. This is my second time here. Using my memory, I head to the castle. I couldn't reach it last time I was here. So it's because I met Ilya, who was running from the shadow on the way. I check my left arm. I lost my arm at that time. The shadow nearly killed me, and there was nothing I could do about it. It's the same now. I have no way to match the shadow even if I encounter it, and they also have Saber. It'll be the end once I encounter them. If I'm to get Ilya back, a surprise attack will be the only way. I'll rescue Ilya without Sakura noticing. Then, what do I do after that? What can I do to Sakura? How can I return Sakura to the way I knew her? I have no answer. All I can do is try to catch up to them as quickly as possible. I emerge in a familiar place. It's been 2 hours since I entered the forest. The sun should already be up, but the trees are still shrouded in morning mist. This is where I stopped last time. If the scene Ilya showed me is right, the Einsburn castle should be near here. A bit more. A bit more and I'll reach the enemy base. Well, the base possessed by the enemy is technically Ilya's castle, right? I come out into a clearing. An empty circular space within the vast forest. The castle I saw through Ilya's eyes is standing there just like I remembered. There's no one around. It's strange there's no watch anywhere, but I can't back out even if this is a trap. Going in from the front entrance is out of the question. Sneaking in from a window on the second floor would be a good idea. There's no watch, even in the back. I climb up a tree and force my way into the second floor. I jump inside, breaking the window. Shirou. Now wanted for vandalism, breaking and entering. In spite of the forced entry, the castle is dead silent. Have Zoken and Sakura left already? Possible. That would explain things. It's been almost a day since Sakura took Ilya. I don't know why they came here, but maybe they already finished their business. A bizarre atmosphere shrouds the place. An overwhelming flow of magical energy clings to my skin like heavy fog. This has to be it. This is what Sakura's magical energy was like after the crest took control. Sakura's on the first floor. I can look for the stairs and head down, but I should find Ilya first. I can't do anything if she's with Sakura, but I have to go save her if she's trapped somewhere in this castle. All the doors are unlocked. From the second floor to the third, from the third to the fourth. I check every room for Ilya. And in the very back of the fourth floor, I come across a storeroom that's unlike any of the others.
イリア、いるか？
Naturally, we instantly make some noise, or as much as possible, by announcing our intentions and who we're looking for. I call out in a whisper. Oh, I guess it's a whisper. It must be storage because the room is littered with junk, obstructing my view. If Ilya isn't here, she must be with Sakura on the first floor. I turn around at the sound of footsteps. Standing at the door is a familiar woman in a white dress.
あんた、確か。
She's Ilya's servant, Sela.
お帰りください、エミヤ様。お嬢様はあなたにはお会いしないとおっしゃっております。
待ってくれ。お嬢様ってイリアのことか。
イリアスフィール様とお呼びください。あなたにはそのような愛称を口にする資格はありません。
It's unfortunately Sela and not Liz. Bummer. Sella's the strict one. We like Liz. Liz is fun. And I guess she's also like emotionally dead, but emotionally dead and slightly less intelligent, but can't do much if you're a homunculus and crafted to be that way. I'm overawed by her ice cold voice. Is it that impressive?
お嬢様からの伝言はそれだけです。命が惜しければ急ぎなさい。ここにいては死にますよ、エミヤ様。
Sela bows and leaves.
待ってくれ、セラ。
Maybe it was unexpected that I called her name, as she stops and looks at me.
まだ何か？断っておきますが、お嬢様の居場所も、あなたの友人の居場所も答えられません。
Sela talks without emotion. I freeze at the sight. It's not her attitude that bothers me. She's like her. I don't know why I'm thinking this, but Ilya and Sela are alike. Their faces, demeanor, build, and age are different, but it feels like they're sisters.
要件がないのでしたらこれで。お嬢様の気遣いを無駄にしないようお願いします。
いや、違うんだ、セラ。俺はイリアを助けに来たんであって、あんたに迷惑をかけるつもりはない。あんたはイリアの世話係なんだろう。なら、今はこの城からイリアを助け出すべきだってわかるはずだ。
気安い方ですね、あなたは。ですがもっともです。あなたの言う通り、お嬢様は一刻も早く逃がさねばなりません。
そうだろ。ならイリアの居場所を。
それはできません。それに、教えたところでもう無駄になりました。
Sela quietly backs away.
待てってば、俺は。
At that instant, a black dagger is fired at me from where Sela was. My legs give way. Pain racks my body and I retreat to the window. In front of me is a white skull glowing in the dark. I grope blindly for the window, but what good will it do even if I find it? This is the 4th floor, and a dagger's pierced my chest. I'm losing blood, and I should lose a third of my blood within the next minute.
一人で乗り込んでくるとはな。見下げ果てたバカ者だ。私は魔術師殿とは違う。速やかにその苦悶から解放してやる。
Artantalus. Seem to be making that mistake a lot, don't you, Gry? The other day, it was clearly Heaven's Feel. This time it looks a little bit like, look Final Fantasy 13. I'm pretty sure that guy's dead and gone. Or I hope he's gone. We beat him like 5 times. Surely he's not going to come back a 6th time after dying and dissolving. Twist my body. I don't care if it's the 4th floor. I run to escape the death that stands before me. But my carotid carotid artery is cut when my hands are on the windowsill. Is this the Terminator's plot? The skull grows hazy.
その身に救いは与えられぬであろうが、あのような怪物に食われるよりは上等だろうよ。
Yes, we're reenacting the Terminator with assassins and immortal shadows. My vision blurs. On the verge of my death, I feel regret. Even though I couldn't waste any time, coming here by myself was reckless. You bet it was, Shirou. That was a dumb decision. Thankfully, we knew that would probably lead to our deaths. It was pretty obvious, too. But if anyone has any questions like, what would have happened if we didn't take Kotomine to the castle? Here's our answer. Which is half the reason we're here, you know. What happens if we do something slightly differently? Does it lead to a disaster? I kind of know the main plot because I saw the movie. And it typically takes a successful route. One of the successful routes. Ooh, even Taiga knows it's cringe. Did you hear that line? No, Assassin in this is insanely deadly. He kills so many people. He axes so many characters off. He's always there, always a danger. He does a really good job. They do a really good job with him. Most of the assassins in Grand Order are just like regular people with assassin traits. Regular people with the name Hassan. Until you get to like Grand Hassan, first Hassan, and then he's still like a knight. He's not like stealthy or terrifying or omnipresent even. He kind of just shows up and does one cool thing in each of the arcs. I feel like Cursed Arm has like has a much more terrifying presence in this one because he does so much. A lot of them are like background characters too, which probably doesn't help. He has a Berserker stack. But he only shows up for a little bit, right? Whereas Cursed Arm here is consistently showing up, consistently a problem, can pretty easily kill you whenever you make a mistake. So, apparently excessive bleeding and following your death doesn't end well. Alright.
言うまでもないと思うけど、今回の原因は一人で立ち向かったことよ。誰かと手を組める機会があったら積極的に応じた方がいい結果を生むわ。へえ、じゃあキャスターとかシンジと組むのもよしなんですか、師匠。
Yeah, clearly we should join hands with Caster and Shinji.
いや、そのあたりは人を見ろというか。そもそも選択肢出てこないでしょう、そういう人たちとは。怠慢ね。私、シンジとシロウが組むルートとか、キャスターと組むルートが見たかったわ。
So we said something about wanting an Ilya route, but Ilya disagrees. Ilya actually thinks we should get a route where Shirou and Shinji cooperate, or we join hands with Caster. That would be quite the route. Ilya likes it, at least.
ボツルートの話は言うな。資源と時間は無限ではない。一番美味しいところを一番力を入れて作るのが料理人の心意気。はいはい、そういうことにしといてあげるわ。
She knows what she said. She wants the yaoi route. You're right.
で、結局は琴峰とコンビを組めってこと？そういうことになるかな。あの神父さんと組みたくないって気持ちはわかるけど、ここは市場を捨てて共闘するべし。了解であります。昨日の敵は今日の友、少年漫画の王道でありますね、師匠。人類皆兄弟。いい言葉である。使え。
What happens if the harem route ends up also giving you some guys in your harem? What do you do then? Then the harem route is the yaoi route. Ah, some great encouragement. Take full advantage of him and throw him away once you're done. Don't talk too honestly. That was a good closing line. Thanks, Taiga. There's no lie in his words. Obviously, we accept this time. I mean,
手にしろ。あんたが
seems
何を
pretty
考え
risky.
てるかは知らないが、
This is pretty risky, though.
造剣をよく思っていないことだけは同じだからな。
なるほど。その共通点は大きいな。確かにあの老人には少なからず縁がある。
We start down the hill. We leave the church together without looking at each other. How much better do things go for us this time? Dawn has nearly broken when we reach the forest.
ここで待て。日付が変わるまでに私たちが戻ってこなければ帰っていい。
Again? Oh, if it takes more than a day to return, okay. Go home if we don't return by the time the date changes. He stops the car on a road near the entrance of the forest. Kotomine arranged for the car.
で、協力するって何を協力するんだよ。
差し当たっては足だな。
After that conversation, Kotomine immediately prepared a car and driver. Hey, how's it going, Poison? That alone is helpful. It's past 3 in the morning. Not many taxis would take a suspicious student to the outskirts right now.
戻ってくる者がそこの少年だけということもある。その時は良くない状況だ。私の帰りは待たず、全速で町に戻れ。
Oh, yeah, he has the car. But hey, they're not waiting for him at least. At least we can take the car and book it out of here. We don't have to wait for Kotomine. That's good. It feels good to be among friends and similar, like-minded compatriots. I see, Jacob. Like-minded compatriots. That's how we'll describe you. In the movie, he drove himself. Yeah, he did, didn't he? He drove. It was just you and Shirou. Kotomine is apparently much richer in this one. Apparently much richer in this one, and buys a driver, not a taxi, buys a driver, arranges a car. The driver nods silently, then opens the trunk.
Emiya, 獲物だ。持っていけ。
He's not even being subtle. He says, take the weapon. He throws a long, thin object at me.
なんだこれ。剣か。
It's a slender sword. He had a car in the shed in the movie, yeah. They could have awkward dad talks together. I remember that, yeah. It's a good difference between the movie and the novel. In this, he arranges a driver who is presumably from the church to get his swords and shit. Alright. That's kind of cool. I like this change. I'm not sure like either of them was a better or worse choice. In fact, I think that having the car in the garage kind of works too. It just kind of screws up the timeline, but if you say that it was like 4 a.m. instead of 3 a.m. or something, if you say it was like a couple hours later that they woke up, which isn't unreasonable because you basically passed out for a fixed number of hours, you can just say, oh, it was another 2 hours or something. This would work just as well. It works just as well to have it be the two of them, other than the fact that Shirou can't drive. Because he probably doesn't have a license. He doesn't have a car at his family house, and no one he knows owns a car, so he probably can't drive. So, this makes more sense to have a driver, at least from that perspective. For apparent trying to play Grand Order Lunch, people are trying to roll black keys. But why, when you can roll the 4-star equivalent or the 5-star equivalent? Were people just rolling black keys for memes? It's like a rapier. It's a sword made for thrusting, not slashing. But the blade's a bit too thick, and it looks like it'll be hard to use. It's like Assassin's Dirk made into a sword.
獲物ってこれ。
奴は銃を好んだがな。あいにく今はサブマシンガンしかない。幽霊どもに鉛玉は効かんし、 お前には扱いづらいものだ。魔術使いのお前にはそちらの方がらしいだろう。
I'd just like to point out that he actually said submachine gun, as that's apparently the actual Japanese word for those. And Kotomine actually does have SMGs. Didn't know that one. Didn't know that one. I thought he only used knives, but he has SMGs here. Alright. And just don't bring them because they're not useful against ghosts. Alright. Good to know Kotomine managed to get his hands on some SMGs at some point. So he can compete. Probably so he can compete with Kiritsugu. You know, don't want to be outdone by that guy. Get the same rate up as Mapo Tofu. Delicious Mapo Tofu. Hey, some people collect those. Some people collect those. I'm not naming names, but some people collect. Every priest has SMGs. Yeah, I've seen enough anime to know that every priest owns an SMG. At least one. Does this still true? Does this still true in FGO? Yeah, bullets aren't very effective. Most people don't use it. Billy is not using a regular gun. He's using a gun made out of pure magic. So I think he's an exception. The gun and the bullets are pure magic. Although technically it's just a regular Colt, right? Ah, yes, I knew what Poison was gonna link. A certain image. Poison's wonderful. If you haven't seen that link, that's Poison's wonderful support list, featuring many wonderful servants consuming the sacred Mapo Tofu. Behold Excalibur on a gun, it's effective against ghosts. Archeria approved strategies. Artoria approved strategies. Just staple Excalibur to a gun. It's because he's an archer and most ghosts are assassin. Your undercover list. I guess anyone can in fact get a Mapo Tofu. That's fair. I lightly swing the sword. It's oddly balanced. It weighs about 1 kilo, but the tip is heavy. It's more like an arrow than a sword. Wait a minute. I didn't know the tip of Black Keys was actually... I didn't know Black Keys had weight in the blade. That's interesting. That's notable. Those of you who don't know, Black Keys are actually pure magic. The blade is magic. It's literally a lightsaber. It has the same lightsaber ability, you know, disappearing and just being a hilt. So, you can actually throw these with accuracy. Yeah, they're meant to be thrown. I didn't know that the blade actually had weight, though. That's a unique detail that I didn't previously know. I mean, it makes sense if you're going to use them to fight or to throw them, because the hilt itself is not that great. But I mean, I don't actually know the physics for that. if it's air, what? How did the aerodynamic properties work if it has no mass? Probably not very well, right? The blade is heavier than the hilt. Yeah. Black Keys are projections. Oh, are they just using projection magic? Yeah, I know they're the main weapons of Shield and Kirei. There's no Black Key ammo counter in the last. There's no Black Key ammo counter in Melty Blood. Yeah, they do bounce around, and they also, when they bounce around, they also rotate about the center of their weapon size instead of the rotate around the hilt. But then again, it's hard to tell because we also have, you know, Star Wars, where in Star Wars, when you throw a lightsaber, it actually rotates where it would if it was a real sword instead of around the hilt. And lightsabers explicitly have zero mass. Like, the blade has no mass. So, always suspicious. But thankfully, this time they actually specify that there is weight, so you can in fact throw these without doing without weird physics issues like the front 3/4 of the blade doesn't actually have mass and would easily be redirected by wind. So, like, I feel like if you threw the sword and it didn't have mass, the tip of the blade would easily be moved by wind. Or by basically anything. Because it doesn't have any weight. You could redirect it really easily. In Star Wars, you just throw it under the Force. I mean, I guess so, but in that case, you're not throwing it. You're actually holding it via the Force when you throw a lightsaber. You're actually holding it and spinning in circles by hand. In which case, I still want to know why you're throwing a lightsaber and holding it by the blade. And if you can hold a lightsaber by the blade via the Force, why not hold other lightsaber blades? Look, that leaves a lot of problems. Lots of problems, but that's Star Wars. It's space fantasy. You're not supposed to think about that too hard. Because the more you think about some of the things that happen, the stupider it gets. You're supposed to just enjoy and have fun. Enjoy all the wonderful memes featuring Obi-Wan Kenobi. You think there's legitimate reason? There's actually no reason. It's not supposed to be how lightsabers rotate when you throw them. As I recall. When someone becomes a Sith, their crystal breaks and it becomes red. Have you heard of this guy named Anakin? Just saying. Just saying. We have a famous duel in a movie where he's straight up evil and gets the Sith eyes and everything. That doesn't happen. But it's not important. They've retconned a lot of stuff in Star Wars. It's pretty hard to follow. Whether or not you even believe in the sequels is also up for debate. The sequels are kind of lame. They retconned everything in Star Wars. Everything's been retconned. Yeah, half of the EU's gone. The timeline's screwed up. They borrowed some of it, rewrote some of it. They also retconned part of the sequels, I hear, in The Mandalorian. So who knows what's canon other than the first 6 movies? And I guess Clone Wars. Clone Wars is canon, right? The TV series, the latest one, not the old one. I don't know if the old one's canon right now. Magical energy. Well, you see.
さらに言うのなら魔術ではなく奇跡だ。霊
Apparently
体
not.
を相手にするのは我々の1000倍特許だからな。その刀身にお前の魔術を乗せればサーバントといえど多少は有効だろう。
Ah, they're both canon? Alright. No more Jar Jar screen time. Imagine cutting things out of Star Wars and not cutting out Jar Jar. You're like, I'm gonna take an axe to this series, but the most important thing we need to do is raise the proportional impact Jar Jar Binks has had on the series. Yeah, assuming you can hit them with it, he adds. Yeah, if you can't fucking hit the servant, having a good weapon means nothing.
それを使うような事態にならないよう心がけろ。
Don't get into a situation where you have to use your sword, but here's the sword.
イリアスフィールが連れ出されてからじき1日経つ。
You want to rewrite the entirety of episode 1 so Jar Jar's the main character?
その時はその時だ。的を桜がどこに向かったのか、その手がかり程度は見つけ出せる。
The priest, unlike me, goes into the forest empty-handed. I take a deep breath. I put the sword into the sheath and follow after Kotomine. He promoted... It's true, he promoted Sheev, giving him emergency powers, enabling his whole plan. He's actually a key actor in the series, although I personally feel that there's a lot of people that trust the Senator enough to do that. It could have been literally anyone, considering how many people were eagerly clapping for his appointment as Emperor. I take the lead. I used my memory to head to the castle. I couldn't reach it the last time I was here. Because I met Ilya fleeing from the Black Shadow on my way to the castle. Wow, this entire paragraph is exactly the same as the certain other. I checked my left arm. I lost my arm at that time. Asset reuse. Or more like, you're not supposed to read the dead ending. I was almost killed by the shadow and there wasn't a thing I could do about it. It's the same now. I have no way to match the shadow even if I encounter that. And they also have Saber. Once I run into them, it's all over. Time to get Ilya back. A surprise attack will be the only way. This is actually slightly different from the movie, by the way. In the movie, they arrive late at night. They arrive very late at night and are able to break into the castle. We're gonna see without anyone noticing. We're gonna see how this goes. But yeah, they were able to find Ilya late at night in the castle because her light was on, as I recall. So hopefully things work. So I'm curious to see what happens now, considering it's explicitly stated here that it was dawn when they arrived, and it's a several-hour walk. So it's going to be even lighter in the castle. They also had episodes in the CGI series where his Gungan military friends get fucking killed by Grievous. And nothing of value was lost. But we did get more cool scenes with Grievous. That's an upside. General Grievous is fucking cool. We got a Sage Ventress. We got Captain Rex. We got Ahsoka Tano. Alright then. What's next? We're gonna save them? What should I do after that? What can I do to Sakura? How can I take Sakura back to my house?
待て。マトウサクラを連れ戻そうなどと思ってはいないだろうな。
思ってるに決まってるだろう。俺はサクラを助けるために。
It'll be fine. We'll just ask Sakura to come back with us.
やめておけ。今の我々では、マトウサクラ。いや、あの黒い影には太刀打ちできん。出会った瞬間、話し合いの余地もなく飲み込まれるだけだ。それはお前の方が分かっているのではないか。
Shirou, ever the idealist, thinks he's just gonna talk to someone who had to be talked out of murdering him. One fight away from leveling up. Ooh, that delicious AP is so close. So close you can taste it. It'll be just like when I confronted her in the yard. But still, like...
今回は諦めろ。イリアスフィールをこちらで保護すれば、まだ猶予はできる。マトウサクラと話がしたいのなら、彼女に対抗できる力を用意してからだ。
The gamer shirt? Is there such a thing? Is that one of those bad team jerseys they make with the bright colors on black? Oh no, oh no. Alright, so we're just gonna try and prepare something later to deal with her. Sounds good. I hope Shirou agrees. A force that can match Sakura, who has an overwhelming amount of magical energy. If anyone can prepare such a thing, it'll be Tosuka. Yeah, exactly. The regular shirt, but with stains that wasn't washed for 10 or so years. Now, unfortunately, I've washed this one recently. As little as a week ago. Crazy, isn't it? Doing laundry, chores, literally anything other than playing video games. Yeah, we have to project the gem sword we were planning to use against Zoken and Black Shadow. Keep with that plan. We need an answer.
わかった。今はイリアを救うのを第一にすればいいんだろう。
Alright, alright. Ah, yes, the gamer shirt. Cause as someone who plays video games... The gamer shirt, of course. As someone who plays video games, this is clearly the first thing I think of when looking at people in real life. Yeah. Yeah, alright. That's just a little bit cringe. It's just a little bit cringe. Just a little bit. Oh, okay. Weird. My audio muted when I seen transitioned. I was gonna say, I don't know if you heard that, but I did say I've unfortunately done laundry on this shirt. So you want cringe where the I got it was a funny sweater the first time I saw it, but people just keep like memeing it and wearing it random places and trying to flex that they bought the shirt that they bought the hoodie in the first place. And every time you do that, it gets more cringe. I swear. Like, if you're gonna buy it once, and like don't be like, oh, check out, look at me, I'm wearing a hentai themed shirt. Like, oh, okay, it's a full PJ set now. Jesus. What can you do? People, am I right?
そうだ。では行くぞ。時間がない。
I slapped my cheeks to boost my spirits. There we go. I slapped my cheeks just like Shirou did. You're a gamer. How the hell are you gonna start a fight? His primary identity is gamer. He's about to level up. He's way higher level than them because he's played more video games. Get it right. Right? He's obviously gonna destroy anyone he comes across. This isn't the time to be feeling timid. I have to save Ilya. Sakura said she'd kill her. I won't let her die, and I won't let Sakura do such a thing. Alright, time to be a hero. All I can do right now is get Ilya away from Sakura. Then, I'll concentrate on that for now. Anxiety. Isn't anxiety wonderful? Not even a simple word shirt? Really? Not even like a simple shirt? With like a generic graphic tee? Really? That's pretty rough, man. I could understand if you had like maybe a job where you're not supposed to wear graphic tees or something like that. Like, you know, an office job. But on a regular day? Pretty surprising. Not enough fabric to put... There's not enough fabric to fill out all the hentai you've seen. I emerge in a familiar place. Oh, that's rough, buddy. That's rough. It's been 2 hours since I entered the forest. But, I don't know. Yeah. But I assume you have some of those shirts enough to know that you can't wear them. So... I'd say try to start with wearing them on days you know you don't have to go out or interact with anybody. Just start with that. Like, wear them in and around your house. You don't have to wear them anywhere. No one has to see you. Start getting comfortable in them so that they're your comfort shirts, and then you can. Then, if you feel comfortable, you can maybe try going out in one. Yeah, just wear them as PJs. Yeah, start there and then wear them outside. If that's even what you want to do. PJs and then as regular clothes. I don't know. I had a hard time buying them in the first place. That's my problem. But I started going to a bunch of concerts, and I was like, well, it seems only appropriate to match what people are wearing at concerts at the concert. So I guess I'm stuck buying shirts then. That's how I tricked myself into buying a bunch of graphic tees. I got like an Iron Maiden shirt because I went to an Iron Maiden concert. It's like, well, I don't want to stick out, you know, not wearing the shirt, not wearing an Iron Maiden shirt. That'd be silly. And that's how I justify buying them. Because, you know, there's nothing worse than looking like someone who isn't into the event they're attending, right? Like, oh man, this concert I paid $100 for, pff, so lame. Yeah, like whatever, man. You spend $100 on the show, you definitely want to be there in the first place. There's your easy justification. Exactly. Alright, it's been 2 hours since I entered the forest. The sun should be up, but the forest's still covered in morning mist.
いるな。この森に満ちた呪いは間違いなく奴のものだ。
Kotomine says something strange as we keep running. The curse over this forest? Can he see such a thing?
呪いってあんたには桜の気配がわかるのか？
わかるというよりは共鳴だ。それはいいが、万が一的を桜と戦うことになれば、私は撤退する。
Kotomine straight up admits he's not fucking fighting her. She's crazy. Or sorry, I guess that was what he said in my words. That bitch be crazy.
お前はともかく、私では酷化した的を桜を傷つけられん。戦ったところで勝ち目はない。
Straight up can't harm her and has no chance of winning even if he fights her. So not only is he morally opposed to killing her because he doesn't want her dead, but he has no chance of winning even if he tries. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. She's crazy. Well, I have no chance of winning either, but...
酷化ってなんだ？桜は桜だ。おかしな影に取り憑かれてるだけですぐに
正常になるか。それは以前に説明しただろうに。的桜を元に戻すには、彼女と影を切り離すしかない。
That is a very good reason not to fight someone unafraid. If you're 100% positive they'll murder you if you even try. Shiro needs to get there. Said, "Look, have you met this character? He's like, you want to slap him sometimes. The guy's like a fucking train or a bull. He just doesn't fucking turn. He's got like the thickest head there is. Well, maybe not as thick as some characters, you know. Certain protagonists of Zero, harem protagonists, the bad ones usually are a little bit thicker. Archer even wants to kill him. Yeah, his own self hates him. How thick-headed and dumb he is. Maybe not Ash. Definitely not Ash. That's an exaggeration. But you know, it's on the level. Ash is somewhat competent in Gen 4. And Shiro is somewhat competent when he doesn't have to change his mind about something. And acquire superpowers for free. But anyway. He just has to acquire some free superpowers. He'll be fine.
あの影の本体を消滅させるか、的を桜が影を実体化させるのを待つか。今のお前にあれを倒す術はない。お前にできることは、影がこの世に生まれ落ちるまで、的桜の精神をつなぎ止めることだけだ。
Alright, we have no way to win. All we can do is protect her mind. So I guess we're waiting. But I don't know how to protect her mind. Command spell covering Sakura's body? If that's what Kotomine means by Black Sakura, then isn't Sakura slowly turning into the shadow? Yeah, Ash. Ash versus Shiro. Who's more thick-headed? Probably Ash, right?
コトミネ、影の実体化ってのは、桜が影そのものになるってことか。
いや、多少の共感はあるだろうが、影の本体は聖杯の中にいる。的桜を変貌させているものは聖杯の中にいるものだが、それとてあくまで彼女の影なのだ。
Ash kissed a Pokemon? That isn't an argument in either direction. Some people think Pokemon are genuinely cute. Ash can literally only use one move in the entire season. That definitely is evidence for him being a dumbass.
彼女なくして影は存在できない。形のない本体は的桜の影になることで物質界に存在する。的桜という不完全な聖杯でなければ、中にいるものはこの世に生まれることはない。
Ash is between 10, 15, and 10 years old, of course. It's Thunderbolt until he learns Volt Tackle, then it's Volt Tackle. Why would you replace the only move your Pokemon has? Don't Pokemon get to keep like 2 or 3 moves? Pash is oblivious to the concept of grinding. That's weird. I could have sworn you actually had to grind to get any arm Pokemon. 4 moves. 4 moves. Yeah, well, we only have 1, so we'll replace it instead of adding to it. You know, he's got, well, I would say he has what if. But I feel like if you had the what ifs, you'd care more about not losing your main move that's actually good. Whereas, seems like he just doesn't care about his one move and thinks it's garbage. Alright. From an outsider perspective who has no information about the anime. Pocket monsters. Because apparently that's what it is in Japanese. Still, surprisingly, actually.
だが産んでしまえば、それは的を桜とは別のものになる。離れたのなら、彼女を汚染する呪いも止まるだろう。
琴峰、生まれるって言うけど、桜の中にそいつはいるのか？
I think so. I think
まさ
so.
かそうであれば話は簡単だろう。体内にいるものを摘出してしまえば
Inside the greater grill. It's not physically inside her.
影の本体は聖杯の中にいる。的桜はあくまでそれに栄養と実像を与えるだけのよりしろだ。
Imagine teaching a physical attack to the lowest base attack stat in the game. I mean, if you have no points of reference, how do you know it's low,
だ
right?
から桜は聖杯なんだろう。どういうことだよ、それ。聖杯っていうのは何個もあるのか？
あるとも。はじめに説明しただろう。この地には聖杯があり、その聖杯を人間が用意した聖杯に降霊させるのだと。
Yeah, there's not just one holy grail here. There's actually more than one. Joke's on you.
聖杯。聖杯戦争という儀式の法則を司る大頭脳たる魔法陣。それがアインツベルンとトーサカ、マキリが用意したこの土地にある聖杯だよ。
この土地にある聖杯。
That's right. Ilya isn't the main holy grail. There's more than one. Joke's on you. All the laws. Summoning servants, making masters, calling down the holy grail. If the holy grail war is man-induced, then it's obvious there's also a man-induced cause. And if I find that large-scale magic circle and destroy it, I might be able to purge the shadow invading Sakura's body.
琴峰、その場所を知っているのか？
An electric crab without matching rubber gloves. It's magic lightning, man. Do you actually... Would rubber actually work if it's magical? Who knows? Yeah, you'd also be like 10 years old. You probably can't even reach Professor Oak's throat because you're like the height of his waist. At best, you could punch him in the junk. Well, maybe you are. That's true. You are a cartoon character. Cartoon characters can reach pretty high. Can reach pretty far. You can probably reach him. Especially if you've done some grinding.
予測はつく。正確な入り口を知りたければリンに聞け。
Leveled up Ash. Magical if you'd pass for a 10-year-old.
この土地の管理者は遠坂だ。200年前、
Ask Rin about the
アイ
magic
ンツベ
circle.
ルンが遠坂と手を結んだのは儀式の場所を確保するため。後継者であるリンならば教えられているはずだ。
People could actually do some of the Pokemon moves? How? Action tag? Never heard of it. No one's... I don't believe people can actually do Pokemon moves. Definitely not in, like, football or gladiatorial combat. Karate chop. If it's a Pokemon move, you probably can't do it. Look. Impossible. Pokemon moves are fictitious. You can't kick things. You definitely can't cut boulders in half with karate chop, so why would low kick work? Alright, so Rin probably knows where the entrance to the Grail is, and maybe we can do something.
もっともそれはイリアスフィールを取り戻してからの話だ
In theory, that sounds
この
wrong.
まま造形の手に
Fly's
イリアスフィール
easy.
が渡れば
Just use the
また
fly
さくらも
skill.
イリアスフィールも聖杯として使い捨てられる
Fly's easy. Just use the fly skill. Everyone has that. It's a passive. Come on. So contains Ilias Fia. Yamato Sakura will be disposed of as the Holy Grail. Well, then you better stop Zoken from getting a hold of her.
大元の聖杯など使う気はない奴にしてみればイリアスフィールと的をさくらさえいれば事足りるのだ大元の聖杯を壊すというお前のアイデアもそれでは何の意味も持たん
Unafraid, randomly recommending people strange etchy. Seems about right.
バカ言うな。そんなの考えてなんかないぞ。
You were definitely thinking of destroying the main Holy Grail. You were literally thinking about that 2 seconds ago, you liar. If I find the large-scale magic circle and destroy it, I might be able to purge the shadow invading Sakura's body. Liar.
そうなのかお前にとってはそれが最も現実的な打開策だと思うのだがな実行しないとはおかしな男だ
うるさいな。そういうお前こそなんだって黙ってたんだ。初めからそんなものがあるって言ってくれれば今頃
とっくに起動式を壊していたかそううまくいかんさ何しろ私の目的は起動式の成就だ
Ooh, is this a lie of a
お前に
mission?
起動式を壊させるわけにはいかん言っただろイリアスフィールを助け出した後は敵同士だと興味があるのは的をさくらから変化するものいや的をさくらになろうとしているものだ造剣のような望みはない
ふざけんな。あんたも造剣と同じだ。サクラを利用して得体の知れないものを作ってそれを自分のものにしようとしているじゃないか。
自分のものまさか生まれた後のことなど興味はないしそもそも人の手で御し得るものではなかろう
Look, it's easy to learn the fly skill. All you have to do is go to Japan and get hit by a truck. There are literally dozens of documentaries on this subject on how to acquire superpowers via Truck-kun. It's literally a vehicle for acquiring superpowers. Ah, the classic pro-lifer line. You're using someone to create something, make it yours? Of course not. I have no interest in it after it's born. Classic line. Classic line. No interest in it after it's born. What if you get reincarnated as a slime? It's not very difficult. I see a certain slime god just had to grind a bunch, become super powerful, and shapeshift into a human the whole time. It's not hard. Rimuru's done it. You don't even need to do half the work he did. You just need to get the pro-life until it's born, then no welfare. Classic Republican. Exactly. No interest in it after it's born. I only want to make sure it's born. It needs to be born. What happens next? Not my problem. Of course, in this case, he says no one will be able to control it, so it doesn't matter. You need a random dragon to be in the same cave you spawned? Seems likely enough. He was able to devour the entire dragon and the prison he's in. Easy. Just catch it while it's sleeping. If it's not in prison, catch it while it's sleeping. Yeah, look at Kumo-chan. She's doing a great job. If you haven't read the series already, dragon's just a problem at the start. We just have to get a little bit further. Who knows how much further? Slime beats the dragon? Yeah. Kumo wasn't born OP. She was born incredibly underpowered and had to run from basically everything. But she's already killed the dragon. Mind you, she as a spider had to learn to cast magic and kill thousands of other enemies, but she did it. You just need to grind a little bit. It was a young dragon. Yes, that's true. It was a young dragon. That's only a problem for now. It was still a dragon. It was still a dragon, and Kumo-chan still has room for growth. So we'll see where she gets next. Just eat baguettes. Croissants. What if you can't afford a croissant? It was cake. It was cake. Just kill yourself and be born rich. Yeah, reincarnation makes things easy. It was cake. Just eat bread, yeah. Let them eat cake is the line. Mind you, in that case, I don't think they were actually referring to like chocolate birthday cake. They're more like, Cool, a phenomenon called hell, no big deal. And Kirai's just like, if Sakura creates hell on Earth, I'll just die like everyone else, no big deal. What's that? His goal is just... Are you insane? Some would say, maybe.
自分だって殺されるって分かっていて、さくらをそんなものにしたいのか。
そうだ。私の役割は誕生するものを祝福すること。
Your role is to bless whatever is born. Good priest, I guess.
どのような対象であろうと変わらない。
I mean, I guessed, Kirei.
ここに生まれようとする命と意志がある。それを阻むことはできない。エミヤ、この世に純粋な願いがあるとすれば、それは生まれたいという一念だけではないのか。
It must be the purest wish ever to be born. I mean, I guess so.
だけど、さくらに取り付いたやつは
悪ではない。人間はただあるだけで幸福を得られる生き物だ。生きれば生きるほど違う幸福を知り、より高度で複雑な快楽を学習する。
Please mange de la brioche. Brioche is a type of... I guess it's a type of bread, right? Google-san, save me. It literally translates in Google Translate to let them eat cake. But, yeah, in English, brioche is, I believe, a type of bread. If I just Google brioche, I believe it's a type of bread. Yeah, it is. French or bread of French origin, that has high egg and butter content, giving it a rich and tender crumb. Yeah. No, it's a type of bread in English. But that particular line translates to "let them eat cake." I don't know why. I think someone just translated it that way. It's weird, but yeah. It's weird. She's referring to bread and they translated it as cake. I don't fucking know. I don't know why they translate it that way. I'm not a French language expert.
だが、人間とて初めから幸福であることはない。胎児には幸福が何であるか理解する知識がない。人間はゼロから何が楽しいのかを学び、何が正しいのかを受け入れる機能がある。始まりはゼロだ。
How is that disgraceful? How is that disgraceful? Not knowing French. The only thing that stops you from doing is being prime minister. But you can't be prime minister anyway if you aren't born in Quebec anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Born in or live in Quebec. The Frenchies won't elect you anyway. So. Yeah, why would she want you to be prime minister anyway? I don't know. I don't know. Political power? It's not a lot, but it's something. There's no good or evil, only existence. Knowledge decides good or evil? I don't think I agree with that. Only power, unlimited power, right? Just blame your environment on everything that's both good or evil in the world.
それが悪魔であろうと誕生を祝福する。私は今までそのように生きてきた。この生き方は私のものだ。的を桜から生まれ出るものが地獄であろうと、それを変えることこそ難しい。
I don't understand. I know he's serious. He knows he'll die, but he's still gonna bless the evil that'll be born through Sakura. You know why I think they changed this to this being a driving scene instead of being a walk through the forest? Probably because it'd be a pain in the ass to animate a forest with a lot of undergrowth they have to climb over and around. They probably thought driving scenes way easier. I'll never be able to approve of this man, because there's actually no path through this forest. They're walking through, like, the bush. They're, like, walking seemingly at random. What's the fixation of Japan with priests? I don't know. They think they look cool. What can I say? But it's true, he's trying to save Ilya and release Sakura from Zoken's control. Nasu's writing isn't a representation of the entire nation of Japan. What do you mean one person's writing doesn't represent the feelings of every single person in the entire nation as well as their collective belief in aggregate? Are you crazy? Thoughts that are in conflict. Lives that cannot coexist. But we have the same goal right now.
信頼していいんだな。
共闘すると言った。私の背中はお前に任せる。
Is it possible that people could possibly disagree with the collective opinion of many others? Is that even possible? A reply without hesitation. That's all that's there right now. I have an ally that's better than anyone. I'll just think about rescuing Ilya and getting out of this forest safely. Final Ascension Astolfo? Final Ascension Astolfo? That's some progress. Congratulations. Oh, are we just going in straight through the front door now? The space is filled with... Seriously? The space is filled with black fire. I think we're in an intermission. Luxurious rooms are burned away by meaningless gasping. Blazing fire is like a heat haze. The formerly shapeless shadow breaks through every wall and door in concert with the host's pain. The black heat haze dances in tune to the melody. Each time the figure at its center curls up, claws at her throat, and gasps in agony, the old castle's beauty is disfigured further. Oh, you have the mask for the Spiritron. You're really going in on Astolfo. All right. Good stuff, man. Enjoyed the... I hope you don't have to farm too much XP to get all the grails you need for him. But this is nothing to grieve over. This desolate winter castle has been forgotten by everyone. Nobody has lived here or seen it, so it makes no difference even if it's destroyed. I can't imagine why Japan would have a negative opinion of Christian religion whatsoever. It just can't be comprehended. Why would they ever have a negative opinion of priests and Western religion after anything? Like, surely definitely no one forced their ports open. Nobody was doing any forcible baptisms. None of that crazy shit. Definitely never occurred. If you couldn't guess, most of that is sarcasm. As yeah, pretty not bit of a isolationist country, strong negative opinions of foreigners, and then forcibly being invaded and forced to open their ports up. Fun fact, do you close your eyes during these sounds from Hensfield? The hall is turned into the Shadow's kingdom. Writhing in agony, the woman in the middle is both its king and its slave. It's already been a day since she arrived at the castle with Iliasville. Mato Sakura's transfiguration is reaching its final stage. As she's one with the Shadow, having a physical form is torture. Her mind is being engulfed by pain and the impulse to destroy. Don't do it? Alright. If that were all, she would be able to bear it. She's used to physical pain. Is there maintenance tonight? There might be some brief maintenance later tonight, because the event's ending. I don't remember if there's a maintenance notification, though. But the pain of having her existence denied is something she's never experienced. The Shadow should not exist. This world has no blessings to offer it. Yeah, the starting event. Yeah, the new event. The death of the old event. She tears at her throat. She can't breathe. The air is poisonous. Mato Sakura is turning into a deep-sea monster, so being on land is like being in a vacuum. Unlimited maintenance works. You want all the same words. That's why she dances around like mad. Her sanity broken, she takes out her anger on everything she sees. Keeps appealing to the unconcerned world about her pain. About her misfortune and pain.
思いのほか的桜であり続けたが、あと一押しで肉の器になり変わるじゃろうて。
Good night, Unafraid. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you get a good night's rest. Two shadows watch the spectacle. An old magus, Mato Zoken, and his servant assassin.
あと一押しか。その言葉、とうに聞き飽きたぞ魔術師殿。すでに勝敗は決したのだ。私以外のサーバントなど不要。早々に残る2体を取り込ませてしまえばよかろう。
分かっておる。だがあれは自ら取り込んだサーバントを殺そうとせん。小娘の浅知恵か、単に度胸がないだけなのか。セイバーもバサーカーも 桜に囚われたままよ。
I
殺してしまえばよいものを存命させておる。
Spend that AP then if you got a 4-hour maintenance coming up.
なんと駒はセイバーだけではないというのか。
うん。おそらくわしに対する牽制なのだろうが、千両。サーバントを抱え込めば込むほど、あれは多くの魔力を聖杯から引き出す。起動式から魔力を受信する小聖杯ならではの魔力補給だが、流れてくるものは魔力だけではない。
Okay, so she's getting magical energy, but not just magical energy.
あれはサーバントを生かす限り変貌を早めておるのだ。わしが手を下さずとも、じき理性を食われ、理想通りの道具になろう。
I'm surprised that Assassin's pushing him to do more, considering how well things are going. Things are going really well. The old Magus laughs, watching the girls suffering. There's affection in his eyes. He loves her. What he originally considered a mere experiment grew beyond his expectation to grant him his nearest wish. Immortality. Dearest wish, immortality. It would be strange not to love her. To the old Magus, Matou Sakura looks like a beautiful bride. No matter how much she fights, she will be his in the end. It doesn't matter even if she obtains power, controls many servants, and retains her sanity. Their hierarchy was set 11 years ago. The old Magus can kill Matou Sakura merely by closing his eyes and opening them again. But the White Skull is different. He's the symbol of ill omen, the wind that brings death, so he's sensitive to those of his kind.
魔術師殿は軽視しているが、さて。
The Magus makes light of the matter, but will everything turn out well? The situation will not change even if the girl loses her sanity. She reacts to people with hostility. In that regard, she's already acting the way she will once her mind is lost. Matou Zoken is conceited. Even if she goes mad, she will not obey his command.
魔術師殿、真実、あの娘を御しうる方法があるのだろうな。あれの外敵に対する防御本能は過剰に過ぎる。理性をなくし、敵味方の判別がつかなくなれば、そうなっては殺気を消す程度では近寄れぬ。あれは自分を殺すという結果を先読みし、外敵を排除する類のものだ。
ほう、なるほど、それは頼もしい。器としてますます安心できるというものよ。
The old Magus laughs. Assassin doesn't seem very impressed. Falling silent, the masked figure stares at the crumbling hall. He sees misfortune coming. Which is fair. You gotta think of all possibilities when you're an assassin, right? So he's probably thinking, how could this go poorly? And how do we stop it from going poorly? He stares at the crumbling hall, but he can't approve the Magus' plan. He says his goal is immortality, but his method seems distorted. No, he's a rotting human from the start. It's natural he's crazy, but the old man's procedure seems inconsistent.
聞いたか、アサシン。助けてください、おじいさまと。よいぞよいぞ、その愛願、11年前に帰るようじゃ。世界そのものに否定される圧迫、さぞ苦しかろう、さくら。
Now you're just being pointlessly sadistic, right?
だが耐えよ。お前の体は耐えられるとも。思い出すがよい。11年にわたる孤独の日々を。何千という攻め苦に耐えたのは何のためだ。何万という虫どもに体を預けたのは何のためだ。そうだ。その程度の痛みお前には何ら問題はない。そのように育て上げた。そのように鍛え上げたのだ。
And he's just sitting there like, yeah, be prideful of all that wonderful torture I put. Yeah, alright. It seems the old Magus can hear the girl's voice. Assassin can only hear her groans, but she must literally be begging for her life, begging for help.
助けるとも助けるとも。お主はわしの作品じゃ。最後まで見届けて死んぜよ。いやいや、 だが助けられるのは肉体だけじゃ。11年の鍛錬においてお主の精神だけはついてこなかったからの。そう受け入れることで苦痛から逃れたお前ではその怨嗟には耐えられまい。だが安心するがよい。肉の頑強さだけはわしの保証付きじゃ。耐えられる耐えられる。お主の肉ならば見事にアベンジャーを待とうであろう。
The old Magus continues to laugh. Assassin looks at him emotionlessly and steps back.
ん？どこに行く朝日？万が一ということもある。お主にはあれからわしを守ってもらわねばならん。
それは構わんが、黒い聖杯ばかりにかまけ白い聖杯を自由にさせるのはどうか。ようやく手に入れた正当な聖杯をなぜあのように遊ばせておく。
Yeah, why not worry about this? Can't you instantly kill her? I'm surprised Zoken even cares. Like, what are you gonna do? Kill his body? He'll just instantly res, like 5 minutes later?
おお、そのことか。何？イリアスフィールは我らに協力的じゃ。もとより聖杯として門を開けるためだけに存在する娘。その目的が果たされるのならとおとなしくうなずきよったわ。
I feel like Zoken's being a little bit arrogant, but we'll see how this goes.
そういぶかしがるでない。お主の求める聖杯はあちらの娘だ。歴史に名を残し自らがオリジナルになる。記録としての永遠を望むウヌの願いはアインツベルンが叶えてくれよ。だがそれにはあの娘に本来の姿になってもらわねばならん。わしはホムンクルスは管轄外でな。あやつらが清掃を整えるまでは好きにさせておけばよい。
無理強いはしないということか。だがそのような余裕が我らにあるのかな。
That's why they're here, so I think we're good.
あるとも。もはや我らに敵はいない。エミヤの小せがれと遠坂の小娘が生きておるのは意外じゃったが、どうということもなかろう。あれほどの力の差を見せられ、歯向かうようなバカ者はおらん。
I mean, Emiya's boy, as it is, kept fighting even when he lost his sword, and so I'm surprised you think he's gonna stop here.
そのような杞憂で事を急ぎ、イリアスフィールに死なれでもしたら取り返しがつかん。天の門を開けるはあやつの責務だ。我らは慈悲をもってその仕事を全うさせてやればよい。朝日。
そこまで。どうやらそのバカ者がいたらしい。
Ah, there is someone that foolish. At that instant, the white skull disappears. Ah, we're getting the intermission. This is where we usually get murdered, right? This is where we'd get murdered. We're wandering around the castle. I assume it's doing it from this perspective because we're not dying here. Assassin has sensed the intruders and hurried out of the castle without hesitation. The enemies are already running outside. They slipped through the unwary Magus's guard and are about to exit the castle gate.
おお、どうあっても死にたいというのか、小僧。
But he hasn't been careless. Iliasville cannot run away. Einsvern's long-standing desire is in her core. The white girl will help him even if he doesn't force her. It's foolish to run away with such a girl. Even if they escape the forest with her, she will come to the land of the Holy Grail, the land of the origin.
ああ、家に放任していたのだが仕方あるまい。出番だぞ、さくら。イリアスフィールなくしてお前が救われることはない。その苦しみから逃れたいのであれば遠慮せず蹂躙してくるがよい。
With a loud laugh, the presence of the old Magus recedes. A shadow is cowering in the hall. The shadow that shrouds the entire hall has become a black swamp from which two dark figures emerge. The girl no longer feels agony. It's not that she's accustomed to the poison now. Merely that...
そう来てくれたんですね、先輩。
pleasure has surpassed her dark pain.
あの神父さんも一緒なのね。バカな人。自分から食べられに来るなんて。
She raises a finger. To the direction of the castle gate. The direction the trespassers have gone. Where they are running even now.
言って。先輩以外は殺していいわ。他の相手が誰であろうと問題なく切り殺しなさい。
Looks like Sakura has more than one trick up her sleeve. A black giant, you say? The unleashed hound roars and disappears with a sudden gust.
今のあなたにはその相手が誰かなんて判断はつかないでしょうけどね。バーサーカー。
She smiles. Slowly she leaves the kingdom of rubble with the black swordsman. And we emerge into a clearing. You guys fucking ready for some hype shit? Perk's coming after us. All we got, the assassins coming after us. Zokin's coming after us. And all we got is a dude, it's a priest and a black key. You fucking ready for this shit? It's gonna be lit. Unfortunately, I'm afraid this is going to be the yeah, we got black keys. We got black keys. They got a couple 4 stars. No big deal. But I'm afraid this is going to be the conclusion of our stream today. This is all we're gonna get to see. Well, if you want more, unfortunately, you have to come back in a couple days, where we'll continue Heaven's Feel. For now, I'm gonna save. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I hope you had a good time. As good a time as I did reading through this. I'm really looking forward to seeing these next scenes. Tomorrow, we're going to be playing some more Grand Order and some Battletech. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.